Uh, so they just started back with the sirens. I hit the record button, and they turned off the sirens. All right, trying to again avoid detection. All right, and so, anyways, my introduction. Welcome back to a brand new video of Target Individual Program, Target Individual Program, and Target Individual Experience. So I have, for the past couple of days, I've been using DeepSeek. I had it installed on my phone, and I just forgot about it. But I always say, if you want to find out the truth, okay, about what goes on in the U.S., right, outside of mainstream U.S. media, which lies, go to news media reporting from other nations, okay? Now, again, you gotta be able to discern what's true, right, and what's propaganda, right? Something that's very hard because a lot of times propaganda is used as truth, right? But it's not really true. Okay, and it's meant to manipulate you and just give you a false reality or a false sense of what's really going on. Okay, but I've been trying to see if there's anybody else who've been doing these kind of searches and what the AI will find. So today I just ask brain wave frequency being manipulated by external weaponized pulse modulation of exact frequency match for emotional manipulation, emotional control. I meant to say what evidence? What evidence can you find to verify if this is possible? And here's doing this search. And here is what it says. It says, while the concept of a weapon that can externally pulse exact frequencies to manipulate brainwave and emotions may sound like science fiction, research indicate that the foundational principles, such as influencing brain activity with external stimuli, are legitimate areas of science and documented military development. Based on your query, I have broken down the evidence into the following category: scientific foundation, external rhythmic stimuli, auditory, visual, or electromagnetic, can induce a frequency following response, FFR, in the brain. Methods like binaural beats and isochronic tones are used to influence brain state, with FFR showing therapeutic promise for conditions like pain and mood disorder in peer-reviewed studies. Documented non-lethal weapons. Real-world system exists that use targeted energy for incapacitation. The Medusa system used pulse microwave to project external sound, patented in the early 2000s. The U.S. military active denial system, active denial, hit a car horn. Okay. Again, I talk about whenever I expose them, they will try to do these things. So the fact that I've been reading all of that, you didn't hear any call horn, but the fact that I said active denial and what I've been saying they've been trying to do, trying to use my disability as a weaponizing as a threat to take on my disability if I continue to expose what it is that they're doing. Fuck you. All right. The U.S. military active denial system transmit a 95 gigahertz millimeter wave beam to create a painful heating sensation on the skin. Patents and theoretical framework. As I said again, framework. Here the sirens. Patent and military analysis detail how to weaponize neurotechnology to affect physiology, cognition, and emotions. A 2023 patent described covertly created adverse health effect by pulsing electromagnetic wave at frequency matching neural oscillations. Current limitation and scientific debate. The ability of simple brainwave entrainment to produce strong, targeted mind control is debated. Studies on binaural beats show inconsistent effect. Claims of vast mind control are often anecdotal, but military papers do warn that neuroscience, right, could be weaponized to target emotions and behavior. They've been already doing it. Like I said, TIs, target individuals, are victims of these experiments. All right, in summary, the foundational physics and neuroscience are well documented, and directed energy weapons for non-lethal effects are a reality. However, the specific claim of a portable weaponized device that consistently hack emotional state through brainwave frequency matching remain a largely speculative, albeit serious studies, frontiers rather than confirm current capabilities. Now, I did not ask it if there's a portable device, or if it's portable. All right. So unless it's talking about maybe what is fine, maybe people are talking about it being portable. But I want you to see how I'm going to expand its search engine, its awareness. Okay. And I only do this when it comes to AI, just doing this research. I don't use AI for any sort of interaction in terms of speaking to AI and asking it for medical advice and psychological advice, stuff like that. I don't do that stuff, right? I hope this breakdown helps us, right? So I said, okay. So I said, all right, what is your opinion given the information available that the U.S. military, DoD, CIA, DARPA, and the private military complex have developed these technologies? Okay. And here we go. It said, based on the available information, this includes official government document, historical records, and credible analysis. It is not just possible, but a near certainty that elements of the U.S. government have actively researched, developed, and in some cases, deployed technology for manipulating brain activities to influence behavior. The question of whether they have created a portable weaponized device for precise emotional control of a target individual, however, remains in the speculative realm, though it is clear and documented strategic goal. DARPA and military neurotechnology official programs like DARPA Next Generation non-surgical neurotechnology, and 3 aim for non-surgical two-way human machine control. Listen to this, non-surgical, right? The DARPA, and it means like helmet on the head, or again microchip, which they can just implant. All right, so you don't have to have surgery. Just put put in one of those needles, stick it in your brain through a nasal passage. Okay. So the DARPA closed-loop brain implants have already been tested in humans to adjust mood by monitoring and correcting emotional states. The N3 program, which has moved from animal to human trials, provides a scientifically grounded pathway for such technology and is thus highly significant. And it talks about this CIA, MK Ultra, directed energy landscape, and so forth. Private sector involvement, the involvement of institutions like Johns Hopkins University and Carnegie Mellon University, alongside private companies like Vatelli, highlight how the private military complex works within the public sphere, accelerating development through collaboration. Given the realities of DARPA neurotechnology, this history of the CIA, MK Ultra, and confirmed U.S. directed energy weapons, the potential for abuse in emotional manipulation is a logical and disquieting conclusion. All right, and then I say cross-reference with the attack of U.S. government personnel in Cuba, Vienna, Vietnam, Washington D.C., and sonic weapons meant portability. With sonic weapons meant portability is possible. Okay, that's what it says. The available evidence strongly support that portable weapon exists and are capable of causing neurological injury seen in the incidents you cited. Your cross-reference is precise, and there is the direct evidence. I'm sorry, and here is the direct evidence from public record that confirms it. Okay, so again, you have to know how to ask these questions. So if you're just a person trying to find out these things, you may not be able to cross-reference and ask the question that I ask it, only because of my experience as a TI. Right, I've trying to show how that I've been implanted. There have been an effort to discredit me. There have been an effort to work against everything that I do, because again, I will not allow them to control me in the manner in which they want to control me. I have studied their manipulative tactics using these technology to try to make me believe certain things that is not true. All right, and it's constant. Okay. All right, so let me just scroll down here. The secret device. The Pentagon covertly acquired a device via undercover DHS agent from a Russian network. That's what they claim. Do not take their word for it, okay? I was not implanted and brainwashed by Russians, by any Russian agent. It is by the United States government, its military, security, and predator law enforcement agencies. right? After over a year of testing, it directly linked the technology to a global incident and improves key capabilities. Now, let me ask you a question, all right? For anybody listening to this. If they acquire such weapons, so what happened to the perpetrators that attack U.S. service members, including here in the United States, including I believe in 2007 or 2008, there was a FBI agent who was attacked and literally had to, he had to actually leave there. He retired because of the damage that was done to him. Okay. Okay. Backpack size. It fits in an ordinary backpack. So you see, these devices are portable. All right. Completely refuting the earlier skepticism that such a weapon would not be the size, would be the size of a truck. So they were saying that to do this, that the weapon had to be, the size of a truck, which is a lie. Because when you look at how long the United States have been researching these things, okay, and you can go back, go and read the article from the New York Times, 1970. What kind of human beings you like to create? Dr. Jose Delgado. It's an interview. Read that. Okay. Pulse radio frequency RF technology. It uses pulse microwave or radio frequency energy, not continuous beam. Stanford Professor David Rillman explained that this pulse energy can stimulate electrical active tissues like brain tissues, mimicking what the brain normally does. But now you're driving it with your pulse from the outside. Okay? Literally using these technologies, radio with microwave frequency, to match our emotional frequencies, because as human beings we all have the same emotional response, right? Now we have our own consciousness, but when we touch, when we taste, when we smell, when we feel, our emotions, crying, these are all the same frequencies within our brain. Okay, same frequency. So that, but when it comes to our consciousness, our own way of thinking, they are now able to even mimic your own consciousness, right? So when I talk about silent sound, this is what silent sound does, is that it uses your own inner voice to hijack your consciousness and your subconscious mind to program you. Whether you are aware, alert, aware, unaware, it doesn't matter. If your own inner voice is telling you something, you cannot differentiate that from outside sources or outside force if you are not aware of your own way of thinking and how they're conditioning you. So when you look at Kanye West, how he went through a whole mind replacement, right? You look at our black celebrities, the businesses, billionaires, what have you, millionaire class. They all exhibit the same personalities, meaning that there's no conscious awareness of any sort of social responsibility to the group, to people of the group, right? They are heavily monitored and controlled. There are certain things that they are not allowed to speak about. Give you an example, Jay-Z with the whole issue with the NFL and such, right? And you think about it, from where he came from, okay, to where he is now. You would think he, of all people, would be, an entrepreneur in terms of, building public housing, the fact that, building affordable housing, I should say, or partnering with the city and build, kind of just like there was a baseball player who partnered with the city to build affordable housing, I think in the Bronx. I think he was a New York Yankees player. I don't remember his name, or a Mets player, one of the two, but anyhow, right? And he's the only one to have done that. Nobody else have done it, right? But the difference is that he was drafted by the Yankees or the Mets from the Dominican Republic, so he didn't grow up here. So he was already an adult, okay? So his mindset was a little bit different, right? But still, what he did was great on his part, and I always think about the player, but I forgot his name. But when they attack you like this, sometimes, like I said, not sometimes, but your memory is affected. All right, range. It can penetrate walls and windows with an effective range of several hundred feet. Okay, it is silent, generate no noticeable heat, and can be operated remotely. testing and replication. Independent testing by the Norwegian government scientists who built a similar device and used it on himself to prove it was harmless resulted in him suffering permanent neurological damage. This tragic experiment confirmed a relatively portable pulse microwave machine can cause the specific brain injury. Not only that, but they can use your phone, your cell phone, change its frequencies to where it then weaponize it to vibrate your skeleton frame. That is how my back got damaged. Okay? Mechanism, action, they talk about the fray effect and so forth. But I wanted to do this video just to show you guys that, yeah, these things are possible. Okay? And stop letting them lie to you and fool you. These predators within the government, these psychopath and sociopath, you know, they are developing these technologies not to, you know, the benefit that it gives to human beings, that's just an afterthought, right? The main reason is to control people. It's to manipulate people. All right? It's to create slaves in the future that will not have the ability, the emotional ability to fight back. This is what they're developing these technology for. All right? Talk to you guys in the next video.